try another one of these. I hope it doesn't come out very blurry, but we're going to try it anyway. Look here, I got here, coercion means any scheme intended to cause a person to believe that failure to perform an act would result in physical restraint or the abuse or threatened abuse of the legal process. Like, because you don't enter into our plan, we're going to take you or take your license, or we're going to put you in jail until you give us DNA or your financial documents. That's a scheme. And it's threatened abuse of the legal process. Now, I don't know about everybody else, but this is what happened to me. So I was coerced to take part in their scheme. Okay, now, this is Florida law, but, A17-568. But anybody can look it up in their state. It's identity theft. Every state has a law against it. Identity theft, criminal use of personal information. Any person who willfully and without authorization, fraudulently uses or possesses with intent to fraudulently use personal identification information concerning an individual without first obtaining that individual's consent commits the offense of fraudulent use of personal identification information, which is a felony of the 3rd degree. Okay, well, they don't ever tell you when you go in there to sign a contract to take, to pay child support, that they're going to take a loan out in your name. That's why you have to sign a promissory note. When you sign that promissory note, you just wrote them a check, and they take that check and they multiply it by the monthly amount and the amount of years. See, if your kid's 1 year old and you got to pay $300 a month, they take 300 times 12 and then times 18. And that's the amount the promissory note is cashed for. They put it into a collections account at a bank, and then they turn around and transfer that collections account over, the promissory notes out of the collections account over into the disbursements account. Once they put it into the disbursements account, it's cash. They get that money back within 24 hours of your signature. Once it goes into that bank, it is transferred to a disbursements account and paid back to the child support agency as cash. Now, you can bank on that. That's the law. I know for a fact they do that, and I'll make another video to prove it. But that's what they do. Okay. They use threats for extortion. They verbally threaten with written and printed communication. They're malicious threats. They accuse you of committing some kind of offense, which they never proved. They never proved that you had willful intent. I mean, remember yesterday's video, mens rea, actus reus. You didn't act with the intent to harm your offspring by keeping your property. And the whole intent that they're getting you into the scheme is to extort your money. They compel you using their threats of abuse of the legal process. They compel you to take part and provide financial documents against yourself. And it's always against your will. You don't want to enter this contract because you know it's criminal. I don't know about everybody else, but I knew it was criminal. But they kept telling me that they had lawful authority. Well, I'm going to show you they don't. Stand your ground. Don't give them anything. Make them work for everything. Look up the Merit Systems Principles Board and see the prohibited personnel practices. The Merit System Principles Board is designed as a check on the powers. It's check and balance. They have to have a check and balance. That's just the way the Constitution was made. That's why they have the separation of powers, is to act as checks and balances. The Merit System Principles Board, you can find all this information in Title V of the U.S. Code. The Merit System Principles Board is there to ensure that the hearing officers, which are just attorneys, they're just contracted attorneys, refrain from misuse of authority and protect employees. You are an employee. That's why everything that applies to you, this whole hearing officer, agency, tribunal, all of it, it's under Title V. They have no right to exercise anything against you for standing on your rights. You have to stand on your rights. Deny them anything. Make them put you in jail. If that's what they're going to do, that's kidnapping. Go right ahead. Put me in jail. Don't give them anything. Don't sign nothing. Don't give them nothing. It's a legally protected right. Right here, now I'm going to start proving it. The public welfare cannot override constitutional privileges. And if the rights are, they're talking about free speech and freedom of the press, but I'm telling you right now, you can look it up. It's in the Constitution. They have no right to mess with your contracts, any of your contracts. Well, when you go to work for somebody, or if you own your own business and you do a contract for a job, they don't have any authority to come and take your money. Public welfare cannot override the Constitution privileges. And if the rights are, in their presence, or in their essence, attributes of a national citizenship, as I think they are, then neither Congress nor any state since the adoption of the 14th Amendment can, by legislative enactments, which is what a child support scheme is, it's a legislative enactment, or by judicial action, impair or abridge them. They're telling you right there, they have no right to impair or abridge your contracts. And impair means they can just, change your contract up. He goes on and explains it. In my judgment, the action of the court below was in violation of the rights as guaranteed by the Constitution. I go further and hold that the privileges belonging to every citizen in the United States constitute essential parts of every man's liberty and are protected against violation by that clause of the 14th Amendment, forbidding a state to deprive any person of his liberty without due process of law. Due process of law simply means due process. Process of law means they have to have subject matter jurisdiction or the authority to hear the matter. That's what subject matter jurisdiction means. They have authority to hear the subject. I don't like to go over 10 minutes with these things, and I ain't going to get through it all, so I'll have to make 2 videos today. But anyway, in Akins v. State of Wisconsin, Justice Holmes, it would be impossible to hold that the liberty to combine to inflict such mischief, even upon such intangibles as business or reputation, was among the rights which the 14th Amendment was intended to preserve. They're telling you right there, they don't have the right to report on your credit after they steal your identity and take a loan out in your name, which harms your reputation, or mess with your business. They don't have any right to do so. No conduct has such an absolute privilege, that means child support law, has such an absolute privilege as to justify all possible schemes of which it may be a part, the most innocent and constitutionally protected of acts or omissions may be made a step in a criminal plot, such as a scheme or child support law, and if it is a step in a plot, such as child support, neither its innocence nor the Constitution is sufficient to prevent the punishment of the plot by law. Can't get no clearer than that. Look up Blessing v. Freestone. States it plainly. It's a scheme. All right, I'll be back in a minute with part 2, I guess.